we are live. I know. Pat would like, oh, let's. But we are live in the present show, so that's not time for music. I'm welcome everybody that is here and join with us. We have with us today still Mindful Pat, as usual. I'm happy to have you here, Pat. Ciao, Pat. And today's guest, and I would let Pat present today's guest because it's I think they are working on a similar area in particular. So Pat, introduce our guest for us today.
Yes, thank you, Lele. Well, let's welcome everyone, Lele as well. Thanks for being here. So today we have with us a very special world-renowned guest, Tom Shattuck. He's one of the Agile leaders at IBM. Great guy with a lot of experience and insights, loves building relations, loves talking and sharing his insights, and we're very happy to have him here.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Hey Lele, hey Pat.
Welcome, Tom.
Thank you.
So we are talking about mindfulness, right? As usual. And so the first question as for us, for our guest, any guest that we have is, okay, where did you meet mindfulness and how does it help you?
So I first met mindfulness actually because of Pat there. I always saw he had a session every week and it was just called mindfulness. So I decided, one day I had a free afternoon, so I showed up there and we did some guided meditation. Just kind of, I believe at that one, it was focusing on an experience that we had in our lives. And it was the most, I'll say, relaxing that I felt at work, especially coming out of it. I felt much more energy. And at that point forward, I really started to kind of go to more of these sessions, started to learn more about what is mindfulness. And then I found there's a whole bunch of people that I'd been working with regularly that were all really into this as well. And it was just a great opportunity to open doors for me and actually see these other areas that people that I'd been working with are also interested in. So that's how I first experienced it.
Well, let's also put a kind of because we never talk about it, but the networking side of mindfulness is interesting. Because the fact that you meet people that are, training, like we meet people in the gym, right? That are training with us and we share, that you should lift more here or like in this way, or in the same way, you are able to share experience. And that's the important thing as well, right, Pat? So the more we meet with other IBMers or other people that are interested in mindfulness, the more we can, help each other to become more mindful.
Right. Forming the connections with the people, just with the intention to be more present with each other. And I think that's one of the greatest gifts you can give another human being is your presence, right? To actually be there with them when you're there, right? Not like multitasking or thinking about other things, or you're telling me a story and I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat later, but no, giving you my presence. So it's a great way to network and meet people.
Eating pops up in my mind a lot through the day. No, it was really great experience. I mean, just because it was almost at that point I discovered that I was able to actually bring calm to myself. So when I started to feel stressed, like just that little reminder that's, hey, remember that group, remember those people, remember just being mindful, like just actually thinking about it allowed me to be able to control how I was feeling much better. And that's what I appreciate the most out of trying to practice mindfulness. And that's the benefits that I see the most for me personally.
And go on.
Go ahead, Lele. Go ahead.
No, the question is, okay, so it helps. So you are part of Agile, right? So Agile at IBM.
Yes.
So
yes.
In this point, so it's already some opportunity, like Agile, as maybe if who doesn't know, talks a lot about people being active, people collaborating, people using visual walls in order to split up the work or work together, people trying as well to be as fast as possible with their own resolution and keep improving this resolution. So where mindfulness stays into this, how does it help you to be an agile leader and also to to practice mindfulness at the same time? Is it useful?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think when I focus on Agile, it's much more than I would say the methods or the practices or even the approaches regarding speed that we take to delivery. It's much more about the attitude. So I almost separate it into two different categories where you have the aspect of being agile, which is where I feel mindfulness plays in, and I'll get to that in just a moment, and the aspect of doing agile, which is more about kind of the iterative style of working, the ability to break things down into smaller packages and subsequently deliver those faster. But if you focus on the aspect of being agile in this attitude, one of the key principles behind this is having a clarity of the outcome of what you're doing. And by outcome, I mean the experience that it's creating, not just the outputs or deliverables themselves, but actually what is that experience that I want to have? And really, one, being mindful allows you to kind of create that space and that time to focus really on what are priorities, not just from what somebody is saying, but how they're acting, how they're expressing themselves. And observing all of this is really helping us bring clarity to what is that outcome that we want to deliver through the way that we work. And for me, when you look at Agile values, all these sparked from the Agile Manifesto at the beginning, but you're looking at things like trust, respect, openness, courage, empathy, that ability to really care about people, for people, and seeing things from their perspective. And I think mindfulness is really a practice that supports all of these values. And so for me, that combination between Agile and mindfulness really is strong. And it's something that those practicing mindfulness can actually gain advantage when they try to go out and actually do Agile. So. And speaking of that, I mean, I love the I'll say the way, Pat, you took that aspect of the values and just made it more tangible, because I don't know if you've shown that before, but it's great when you think about kind of we look at, we say trust, respect, openness, courage, empathy, and these are just words. But when you express them in a physical way, it's so much more powerful. And this is something that Pat, actually you brought to my attention. I use it all the time now, but the aspect of, if I'm showing respect, how does that look? That's shaking a hand, that's bowing, right? That's looking at the person. When you look at openness with your arms spread wide, or even just being vulnerable, having that as kind of really, what does this value mean? Trust, respect, this is, hand in hand. When you look at this, you say, like, if I lean backwards, would I trust somebody to catch me? And first off, do I have the courage just to fall? And these are ways that physically we can actually understand these values much deeper. And, I mean, the aspect of empathy, just hugging somebody, it's really hard to not care about a person if you give them a hug, and I loved taking that physical way of being and actually making these values much more real to ourselves, rather than just repeating them. And always having that in your mind, again, when you're working on something, when you're doing business, keeping that in the head that says, do I understand why this person is communicating to me in a certain way? Do I understand their perspective of it? Because a lot of times when it's just typing, we read a lot of tone into what's written. And I think we actively have to think about what is that person experiencing right now, in order to understand that message that's just being written.
So basically, this is interesting, because I know that one of the really important aspect of mindfulness, that I'm asking to Mindful Pat now, is communication. So what Tom is bringing is, in the way we communicate, not only the values, but what we do, how we interact with others, how we show, empathy, or how we show openness. Mindfulness is a really strong part of it. We can be better communicator if we are mindful about what we share. Am I right, Pat?
Yes, yes. And I mean, building on the great things that both of you are saying, if you're aware or in the present, right, and you're trying to teach a group, your team, an audience, the client, you know, trust and respect and courage, empathy, openness, and you have a presentation on the board with the text. I mean, we've all heard these words throughout our whole lives, and we understand the concept. But if you're aware of the group and how they're interpreting it, how they're feeling it, you can show the power of visualization. You can interact and build that connection, and it's really profound. And Tom and I have, you know, we've interacted with hundreds of people. The video is going viral at IBM also, but the energy level of the group in the room after you do those agile values visually and physically with others, I mean, it skyrockets. You could have the most doled out group that's not paying attention. You do those agile values, everyone's laughing, everyone's joking, right? Everyone's ready to go. And it's kind of like we should start each day like that, you know, going up to our colleagues, hugging them, showing them respect, you know, being open. But that takes a lot of courage, right? And you need the trust of the others. So for me, that first step is being mindful of, okay, how am I behaving and how are the others behaving and reacting to that? So it's well said, Tom and Lele.
Yeah, and basically, I mean, the video we can share the video about it. It's in the mindfulness IBM community. It's something that we can also put into the YouTube comment below so that everybody can see. But the important thing is there is while you are realizing how are the values, you express them in a different way, more visualizing it and making them, and it helps because it's energy, is people will be being together. And anything else, Pat, about Agile? I know that you're also you're comfortable with Agile values and Agile practice. How mindfulness bring them to you as well in a different perspective.
Just, I guess the last thing, and Tom, you probably add something to this. It's, for me, it's that understanding the self better, right? Of who you are. And the better you understand yourself, right? The way you're thinking, the way emotions behave, the way you're acting, it's so much easier to see areas of improvement, right? Or areas that work that you could continue to grow. So through mindfulness, you understand yourself better in that whole thought process, which is perfect for agile practices, methods, values, and principles. So that's it for me.
Yep. And I mean, I would also not lose sight of the customer on this as well. I mean, there's the aspect of even having that confidence in myself that gives me better ability to address the work that I'm doing. I mean, you can use all these same values when it comes to dealing with customers and looking at things from their point of view. But if I'm confident in myself, and if I have an attitude of personal accountability, where I feel, passion, honestly, I'm here to do a good job, this translates into the results that we bring to our clients as well. And this is really the business aspect of embracing Agile, is because we can deliver innovation. We find passionate people being passionate about the work that they're on, and subsequently we deliver great results. So it's a positive in all directions.
And would you do that one of the practice of Agile is the daily stand-up?
Yeah.
Would you put into a daily stand-up mindful minute as well?
Sure, absolutely. I think that's a great way to even start it, just to kind of focus everybody in beforehand. Yeah, that would be a wonderful way. Spend a minute being mindful.
So, Pat, let's start. Let's imagine we are going to have our daily stand-up now. How can we start? Recommendation to start the daily stand-up during the day. How will you do? The mindful minute time is now.
Right. So let's use our visualization, since we were talking a lot about that, and pick an object in your surrounding, or pick several objects that have a certain color, right? And try to imagine that you're seeing that color, that object for the first time. Right? If it's one color or it dominates kind of the room, like I have a lot of white, try to find something different or new in the different objects or textures on the wall or in the environment you're around. And bring your attention to that, right? Try not to jump into the past or the future or what I have to do next, but just being here now, right? Sometimes they say, like open your eyes like you're a kid, a baby opening their eyes for the first time, or you're an alien arriving on the planet seeing this color or this object for the first time. Yeah. I think it's a great way to get everyone in line, We're here now for our daily stand-up. So let's be mindful. Perfect.
Or you can even maybe pick up a color for everybody so that everybody has to, focus on that color that you pick up for them. That's also an option. Or everybody can mention then the color they had. So, mine was orange, for example. And it's really the fact that you focus on one color only and you just think about that color. This helps you really to be there. And that's all what it takes. So I saw some comments in our YouTube live, and some said, "Yeah, I don't know. I still don't understand what the concept, what is mindfulness, or how to do it." It's as simple as really looking at a color, focusing on it, and realizing that you are in the present moment. And when you understand the simplicity, you start already understanding mindfulness. Thanks a lot to Tom, and thanks a lot to Mindful Pat for the present show of today.
Thank you.
I'm happy. You are always welcome to come anytime to our live show, Tom. I'm happy
thank you.
With more and more suggestion about how is agile and everything else. Pat, last sentence from your side.
Thank you, everyone. Be present, be here. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next show.
In next week, we are not going to be there. In 2 weeks, we are going to be there with the
we also have a special guest from Argentina coming. So be on the lookout for that.
Thank you. And bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.